Hi, Gil from Testing Gil here. You know what the T in GPT stands for? Transformation. And what is refactoring if not transformation? Refactoring is changing the code without changing the functionality. Now, we've been making changes to code without AI for years. Take renaming, for example. We can do this by using find and replace. No brains, just brute force. Then there's a smarter version, using the IDE. Most IDEs index all the names of methods and variables. So when you rename something, they go over the list and change all the instances there. There are a whole lot of refactoring patterns, which you can do manually, or depending on the language and the IDE you use, the tool will make them for you. But then there are bigger changes in the code, and for that we can call the AI genie. Here's an example. I've written a couple of tests in Python in the framework unit test. And now I want to translate those into PyTest, which is another test framework. The Genie can grant these wishes very quickly. LLMs are trained on a lot of code, so they know a lot of patterns. When I asked about my API tests, can you refactor them to make them more readable and maintainable, I didn't know what I was going to get. But I got all the API calls wrapped in a class. This is a pattern called extract class. It uses two simple and famous principles in software: encapsulation and abstraction. Basically, we are hiding implementation details behind a higher level interface. And this is exactly what the Genie did. And we can take it further. In our Bigger Better bookstore, we have an API that we use to create a book. It has all kinds of fields, some of them are required, some of them are optional. So one way to call the API is like this, which is not bad, but it is sort of hard to read, and especially it gets worse with hierarchical data. But hey, I've got a Genie. Hey Genie, refactor that code to use the builder pattern. The builder pattern is very useful to take code like ours and make it more readable and even use fewer lines of code. Much better, don't you think? Another way I used AI more than once is to transform regular web test code to use the page object model. The translation is based on the true principles that we've discussed: encapsulation and abstraction. The results are better tests. It's like magic, right? Well, maybe some dark magic. You see, every time when we refactor, we make some assumptions. Even if we just rename the variable, we assume that although we change the code, it will run the same way. Remember, we're talking about the original refactoring. That means no functionality has changed. For small refactoring changes, we've learned to trust the tool that does it or ourselves. But with big changes like that, across files, maybe across projects, there can be very big implications. For starters, this can be a bit more than refactoring. I've seen a lot of instances where the AI just adds code or changes code without me asking. Then there could be other effects, which are not what we call functional, maybe non-functional. Maybe the code changes introduce new extra web calls. Maybe it writes more to disk. Those two impact performance, so we may not see the impact in the code itself, but the impact is still there. Maybe it opens the server to attacks. Maybe it changes accessibility features. So what do? We want that magic. Well, magic costs. And this is where you start paying in sweat. Okay, less sweat, more attention. First and foremost, we need to review the changes. Not only review, understand. Don't let the Genie slide in some code we don't understand. And approve. Then, tests help. Lots of tests. Tests are the real proof that what worked before still works. But the most important thing to do is curb our enthusiasm. Don't make big changes, even if it seems it will help us make big leaps forward. I'll do a separate video about all the issues I see with using AI for testing, which will go a lot deeper to how to deal with out-of-control genies. Until then, use it in small batches. Make sure the changes work the same and continue. And after that, put the Genie back in the bottle once you're done. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share it, and watch other videos on this channel. And in the comments, tell me how you made big changes to your code base and What kind of interesting side effects took place. Until next time, bye-bye.